pushing Chien most likely into the support role, throwing Alma in solo lane. So Belt Slap and Papis pretty much have their definitive drafts coming through here into game number 1 of where they go. Draco Marino onto the Khepri. Between Khepri and Ganesh, those are kind of the two signatures that we see out of this Papis support. Warchi on his after the boots yet.
This just tells me that he wants to stay in lane of farm. We're going to force out that Anvil of Dawn. And from that, I would imagine the call has to be Arkle speeds it back up and doesn't have the Valkyrie's discretion to get away and potentially turn around on you. We're looking for the gank, but look who's also here. It's Johnny. Good whoop. That's me just waiting for the dash. Doesn't have to wait for it. What's going to be the first one victim? Arkle gets himself off to a good start.
And so holds on to that relic for the next fight.
No, he does hold on to that relic to just give himself a bit more safety. Don't think about a prime target for a gank. But look at the prime target for the fight. Johnny picks up Marcus. Trix Tank could be on the calling card here for a kill, and Checker does return that 1-for-1 trade in that engagement, but Johnny wants to try and get some more. Does still have access to that fatal strike. Doesn't matter if they do have that get revive on them. And I think Checker is going to bite the dust here. Executed. Johnny picks up his second kill of the game.
And a beautiful evade and punish out of Zeros to make sure to lock him in place and deal enough damage. Players are here for their action to try and get their fights going through. Julio with a 1-level lead and opted for a Shogun's Kasari first item. Ultimate out of trick because there's no beads available for Chekio and no ultimate either, and that's going to spell one dead mid laner. And Trix Tank getting the credit for the kill.
Marcus, he just was.
Well, 12.5 minutes in, as we would normally expect to see amongst these two teams. A somewhat slow start, 4-1, but Bellsap have already built nearly a 3,000 gold lead. Zero's charging the ult. Not going to fire off that final judgment. Johnny has to leap away very quickly. Caught in the wall. Marcus does manage to find one. Throwing Creed into the tower. Final judgment out of Zeros. Not going to get a whole lot as Creed is still alive. He's going to dash away immediately. Has that ultimate from the Khepri to make sure he stays alive. Fields of Love forces out the Valkyrie's discretion yet again. The fight continues to bruise. Marcus gets hit with a shell, but it's not enough to keep him alive from the damage out of Arkle, who's just pumping shot for shot out.
Oh, that was kind of disgusting. Coming out early for Marcus, which you do like to see. But it's not going to be used up on the gods you would expect it to be used on. Marcus, though, going aggressive. He's trying to defend onto the path. Gets executed before he can take off. Julio doing an insane amount of damage there.
Maybe CC immune channeling that ultimate, but you are sure as heck not damage immune, and that dazzling offensive setup just enough to put. Imagine if you got, what is like 10-15% of that back from that execute. So he's got a 900 heal out of nowhere. Marcus looking for somebody up into the sky. Miscalculates a little bit from Zeros. Papis does manage to get the Primal Fury. It'll be a somewhat quick disengage from them. They're playing around a little bit dangerously here. Creed and Chekio up to the front line, but Zeros with his hieroglyphic assaults and the purification beads, and Arkle has hit the gas pedal, but unfortunately, there's a couple of speed bumps in the way with that Sanctified Field, and Trix Tank gets grabbed by Draco Marino and dropped by Marcus. Draco maybe paying it for it with his life as the execute is going to go right through that revive. Warchi manages to find Julio, so that's a 3-for-1 kill for this Gold Fury, still making it worthwhile for him. Arkle on full run. He's got the purification beads to get out of that pluck. And that looks like it could be the end of the fight, but Marcus is still looking around for it. 4 players here spotting out Arkle.
Yeah, Arkle with the water over the wall just means that Marcus wasn't going to be able to be seen. Just being pinged out there again. And I'm sorry, Bellsap, I did kind of cast this Cursey there a bit, so everything was looking good for them at that point, but then they lose the Gold Fury, they lose 3 kills just in trade for Draco Marino, and they're going to lose Arkle here as well. Yes, he's going to take us up, but Harp on 1 basic attack from the jungler as well. That gets the 4th kill in this extended engagement. The tower is going to fall down as well as the Papis.
They kill least compared to the 18 on Marcus, so keeping pace by having the 4 kills, and Fire Giant started very early here by Bellsap to see if they can find anybody, and it's going to be Creed, who's dropped down to a quarter health and executed by Johnny on the back end, diving in onto Zeros' Marcus. That's going to get the beads and the Aegis out of the mid laner. Evade and Punish gets him out for the time being. Julio grabbed by Draco Marino. Fields of Love is only going to get Arkle, get his beads out of it as well. Draco Marino barely lives and is able to make it out, but the rest of the team is so heavily injured. Aside from Warchi, full health, double whoop out of Arkle. That's going to get the beats out of Marcus. And Warchi, he's going to manage to find his way out too. Great whoop out of Arkil.
It's only the one shell as well to help deal with the fray, and it's not even upgraded yet from Draco Marino. So very difficult for them to get into range of this deadly ADC. There's been a bit of an attrition battle here from the junglers as DK does finally happen with Trix Tank. They have pulled in, knocked up. They are stunned outside of where he wants to be. That does result in the first kill. The execute misses as Zero's forced down to Marcus as well. It's a good fight for the Papis. Arkil falls down as well. It's 3 for 0. And that should have been a 3 for 1, but Chekio escapes with a fair amount of health.
And the mis-execute from John. He's come up with a big win, 3-0 in the exchange for it, and then a tower on top of it. Big thing for the Sanctified Fields out of Chekio was massive in that fight.
Yeah, they can see on that bottom right exactly what happened as we all focused on the chase down from Johnny and Julio onto.
We'll have to use it defensively just to get back to safety. A little bit of healing out of Chekio, and that's 2 big ultimates down, and a blink in from Trix Tank with the Whirlwind of Rage and Steel, but he's stuck inside the Sanctified Field. Now be a quick pickup for Warchi. Still stuck in the middle is Julio. The whoop out of Arkil misses. Heart bomb out of Warchi. Double kill for the Hunter. Right onto 0-2 will go. Vein Punish is good, but how far is Warchi willing to chase for this kill? The answer is the Phoenix. He dashes in aggressively, misses the Heart Bomb and the auto. Warchi has the ultimate on top of him just in case he wanted a full commit to it. Instead, he'll go back to the tier 2 tower and clean that one up.
Meanwhile, Chekio's just starting up the Fire Giant by himself. A minute till it's in hand. So the Papis are A-OK taking this one before that change. I think it's a bit tier 2 as well, and this is a good turnaround for them. They were behind for the most part. Now they find themselves in a commanding position. Just again, a second good fight led on the charge by Warchi. Oh,
stops the dash instantly with that Fields of Love. Warchi on a rampage with this Cupid.
See what his basic attack. We know that he's different to Harp when he's dashing on the mid Phoenix, but Marcus up in the sky looking as a ward lands down to the back onto Arkil, forced down Arkil's progression early. That should be the Phoenix.
Mid Phoenix is down. Marcus will teleport out. Trix Tank picks up 2 with the ult into a final judgment, but it's not going to be enough damage. And what's another kill on the board for Warchi? 6 for him. But the wall stops Johnny again. Marcus is so accurate with keeping these walls to save the team, but unfortunately can't save the remaining health out of Draco Marino as Arkil managed to pick him up with a couple of more basics.
Sanctified Field is still up for Chekio if they will. But look who's in the jungle. Arkil's there, going to miss his whoop, going to miss the vanish. Forced to use his beam because of that Sanctified Field above. Sanctified Field curses Johnny into eternal damnation.
Well, and once again, big stun here out of Julio. He's going to get a second stun with that Mantle proc. Arkil takes a spill to Marcus. Chekio and Warchi trying to do with 0-2's full health. Hard with the assault, but the big damage autos out of Warchi. Unstoppable now. 7 in a row for him. Marcus holding off Julio so he can't teleport back to the base. Ports in with the hammer. Needs one more basic, but Julio's so fast. And with Trix Tank back up and alive, Marcus might not be able to get the final kill. He does get it. Mjolnir's attunement finds it. 5 in a row for Marcus. Only one left. Trix Tank to defend against the team of the Papis. And it looks like game number 1 is going to be going over to the Papis with the Titan at half health. Trix Tank with no ultimate to save him. Game number 1 in the books.
Nah, they're not going to kill Trix Tank. They're going to let him leave. Watch his Titan die. Papis take game 1. Best picks that they would have taken. And the Papis bit more out there with their drafts. I think Sheik Chen a bit lower on the priority list here for Creed, but it is going to be a good selection for them, as you know, we're going to be hopping into games shortly, and I'm excited to see where this one goes. I could see it being both a potential victory here for the Papis and both, you know, a game 3 here as BRZA take this second one.
Well, I do agree with the Sheik. They'll finally be able to pick that buff up for themselves. Draco Marino level 3. Gave Warchi a little bit more solo experience than he had originally planned on, but Trix and Arkil have been doing a great job of keeping them zoned away. Warchi's just going to try and clear out some minions here and help Draco Marino hit that level 4 mark. But again, another big hammer. No dash available for Warchi. Marcus picks up a first blood onto Johnny. Meanwhile, Trix Tank finds Warchi. Draco Marino gets out. I'm sure we'll be able to get that first blood through there. very soon for you.
Best Fafnir players in the world back when he was back in the SPL. And Fafnir was a traditional, staple pick as a top-mid scorer.
Well, Julio now on the Cthulhu this game, going up against Creed's Xingqian. Gonna get a bit of the fear off there by stacking up that madness onto a soul laner, which you're gonna get those kind of stacks up pretty easily as Cthulhu and solo. It's kind of just free poke and free damage and a free kill as Johnny rotates over and uses that regurgitate to dive under the tower. Second kill on the board for Belt Slap.
Hey, iCreed didn't have his ultimate available, and they're just going to continue to do that every single point in the game that they can. So because they've got great safety in these two Guardians, Trixtank has that Draconic Transformation to give himself a bit of immunity frames. Well, I say he's got a bit of safety on this Julio, but he's going to die to Marcus, who finds himself a assist this time with that Anvil of Dawn gank onto Julio, onto the Cthulhu. And iCreed gets him. Is Johnny doesn't quite want to dive. I presume he was going to look for that with Trixtank being over the wall, but Trixtank calls the rotation from Draco Marino, and the presence of the big elephant alone is going to be enough to sway that dive.
Well, Zero's going to eat one tap of the hammer, but not the second. Looking for that evade and punish, will manage to find it. On to Marcus, and the final judgment out of Zeros will clean up the final shot and bit of damage needed to take down Marcus. Zeros now on the board with his first kill.
Yeah, and he's managing to play the thoughts again. Just use the beats, so an ult-for-ult trade goes the way of the... I believe I will go the way of the Papis, simply because of the CDR online for Marcus.
And that right there is the hardest part of dealing with the Bakasura, is he can just walk up and eat your mid-camp on that left-hand side, blink in, and it's going to be the beads and the ult, and for Marcus, nowhere to go because, well, he just can't get away from him. Golden Blade boots and a hasten katana. It's the fastest jungler out there at the time being. So Marcus loses out on his Aegis amulet. He will go back to the fountain for the time being. Creed gonna get the knockup onto Johnny. Final judgment being charged up out of Zeros, but Warchi finds the kill onto Johnny thanks to the assist from Draco Marino in order to trade it out. It's a 1-for-1.
That's a good rotation from Creed to stop that potential goal fear from happening.
Big leap out of Johnny to make sure to get away from that ult out of iCreed. And that's the problem with Xingqian, is if you don't get their beads and they have a leap, well, as soon as you ult, they're just going to jump away from it every single time. Warchi being blocked off here by Trixtank, but a stun into a hook slam out of the Xingqian. Trixtank will take a little bit of damage. He gets that leap off, but both of them walk into the slow that comes after the residual Dragon Breath.
Oh, they know where he is.
But Warchi lands right down into the clutches of Johnny. Purification beats in a big eat minion. Help team up with Arkill to take down the first kill in Warchi. Marcus, Aegis is not going to be enough to save him as a double kill on the board for Arkill. Level 16 now on the Jing Wei. And 6 kills on the board for Belt Slap.
And Arkill's having a great set so far. Game 1 of the Freya had some fantastic play. Game 2 of this Xingwei has been put under a lot of pressure and has just managed to survive. Draco Marino avoids being spotted there, still has his pillars, doesn't manage to secure the objective as Belt Slap do take that.
Chekio, who is looking at his red buff, but now Johnny looking to this left-hand side for Warchi. Might be trying to make a big rotation under the tower, drops the ultimate down. Warchi just waiting as long as he can, hoping he has something, but with no tower left to defend and 3 players on his backside, Warchi has no choice but to fight into him, and Arkill will get the final kill, or the final shot for the kill, bringing him to a killing spree. 3-0 for the Jing Wei.
And it's just been such a good game that they've been pointing out for Arkill, and Johnny's been the facilitator of it, Trixtank as well. It's just been the setup here to put themselves in a good spot elsewhere. Cross them out, the final judgment comes out, doesn't quite hit when it needs to be. Johnny gets put on the ropes with the silence, and he gets punished for his dive there. Good kill, going the way of Chekio.
Well, Julio gonna try and get some damage onto Creed. Trixtank gonna get hit by the hook slam. Chekio with some big damage to the arcane sets, but he's forced to back away because of the thorns coming out of the solo laner. Julio diving into the bag, looking for Chekio, will find him with the final swipe. Now Draco Marino has to back away as this Cthulhu is just pushing them at their Phoenix, mind you. Objective, then you can stack that up to 3 times, up to 21% if you can get multiple Primal Furies. And it looks like another one is going to be spawning up here But they're more worried about the Fire Giant or trying to bait somebody in from this Fire Giant. It looks like Draco Marino may have been the one to take that bait. Creed into the back. In the sky is Marcus looking for somebody, but Johnny's already blinked past where he was planning on landing, and Chekio left all alone. Good wall is going to save him for the time being, but not before Johnny just jumps into the tower and finishes the job. Trixtank finds Creed up into the Descended Madness form. Is Julio just chasing out the rest of them, but that leaves open the Fire Giant for Belt Slap.
And it's just gone from bad to worse for the Papis. They usually come back and win one fight. If it was really one fight to win, it would be that one. But now Beltslap find themselves over that magical 10,000 gold mark. They get themselves the Fire Giant as well. And that entire fight, we didn't see Warchi once because he was over on the left-hand side split push. He doesn't even get a tier 1 for it. You see Arkel's positioning just was again, it's been really, really strong. Puts himself in a good position to get some nice follow damage onto everybody. And he doesn't put himself in a position of danger. It's been a textbook standout ADC performance here from Arkel. If you do want to say, I want to be an ADC player, how do I play it? How do I go about playing it at a top level? This is the game to watch. This is a set to watch from Arkel.
And that just comes from his professional experience in the SPL, where he's had to go against the top ADCs in the world. And Zeros, unfortunately, gets the worst end of that as Warchi finds a beautiful snipe in the back, but Arkel managed to get Chekio. And after the ult is dropped from Johnny, he helps to pick up a second kill for Arkel. 2 on the board for the carry, looking for another. The shell is slowing them down for just a little bit, but Johnny manages to find the third. Airstrike out of Arkel, looking for the 4th kill. Johnny will pick up a double of his own. With the Phoenix exposed and only one person left standing, it's looking like it could be game number 1 here. Right side bird goes down with all 5 left alive, and Creed, who can't even go back to his fountain because Johnny is just bullying him away from it. Game number 2 goes to Belt Slap.
And we're going to find ourselves with a best of 3 going the full distance here. I don't think we expected anything less. Game 1 was a great comeback potential for the Papis. Game 2, Belt Slap took the game from start to finish, and it wasn't, at times it didn't even feel close from the Papis. They've got a 3rd game running, so it's just a matter of Thor and Thoth who loses 2 games this set.
Well, it's time for us to find out. The wait is no more. Game number 3 between the Papis and Belt Slap. The winner of this, the number 1 seed for the European Smite Challenger Circuit, phase number 3. We take it straight here in the game.
Effective will this goddess be in the hands of the Papis mid laner?
Well, that is the big question for her. We've seen this goddess banned game after game, set after set. It feels like we never get to see them, and Trixtank doesn't get to see a health bar. All 6 minions coming in big with that one sumo slam. And that is the erased health bar of Trixtank for first.
He didn't even hit the hard bomb onto Trixtank. He just hit a minion to insta-stun him. And he was just dead. There was nothing he could do. I just gobsmacked by it.
And this is why you get sumo slam level 1. And I mean, Zeros didn't even get hit by the sumo slam. He already had to beads Marcus with the 2nd kill. And the Papis are done playing around. They've said, you know what? Game 2. No big deal. Let's just throw that out the window. We're all here for a brand new start.
And one another, but it's also good for Warchi to consistently pop this mounted archery, because if Arkel does have it available, that means he has the opportunity to get some gangster off himself. He's going to have his dash interrupted. Draco Marino puts himself on the board. He's thoroughly deserved it after putting the rest of his team on the board for the first 2 kills.
Yeah, a little early to try that EI Jutsu when you still have a spinning watery grave out of Draco Marino. Going for the Gold Fury, even though Vision's in control of Belt Slap, so they know this is going on, and they should know at least at this point. Johnny and Trixtank onto the backside, Gold Fury down to half, but with Zeros channeling that ultimate, they're going to back away from it. Trixtank gets hit by a little bit of poke here from Warchi, and Zeros returns some fire onto Marcus. The Gold Fury picked up, but immediately leashed out. Papis just doing a little bit of a field check onto it. Chekio stuck in the middle of the ult. He's going to get one big onto Johnny, and that's going to get his beats down. So that's a big trade out there for that mid laner.
Yeah, it's a big play there from Johnny. Puts Chekio down in the ground. He eventually gets all over. Creed gets soloed by Julio. Wow, that's a talking point, if anything.
Well, Julio's poked through, willing to dive into that tower for how much health that he has built up onto him. And I'm not sure what the change here was for him to just continue sticking around. Jumps over the stun, and I would have thought that that would have been the end there, but one more basic, and the mirror was enough for Julio to get that, but Marcus manages to find our kill.
Oh, that was a lot of damage going on for that double tap. And on that solo kill, Creed almost got his washing machine of destiny off. That would have killed Julio, got himself a solo kill instead. Just 1 second later on his ability to live, the Papis do destroy the Gold Fury. The fight has begun, and out comes that Cage of Doom, trapped in his back. Zero's gonna be just chased down by Creed, chased down by Marcus as well. Julio picks himself up a double kill, because the rest of the team is just too busy killing up the backliners.
And I don't think Chekio's making it out of here as Julio picks up a big triple kill on the solo laner. Blinked through by Johnny. Good wall out of Marcus, but Johnny's got that haste and katana. Good hook slam out of the solo laner, but Julio's going to continue to chase. Gets the unofficial quadra kill out of the solo Alma. That's the rotational power you need out of your solo lane.
That is big rotations. That is a big Frostbound hammer coming out from Julio. It was almost like they didn't expect it to happen, and they don't expect this to happen. A Fire Giant coming out here. You see Julio just making his way around the back in this fight. The rest of the members of Papis go ahead and just run at the backside. They leave Julio to deal with Warchi, to deal with Creed, to deal with Chekio as well. They just left Julio alone.
Yeah, I don't think that they recognize that this was a Frostbound hammer, because the last time that Julio was...
Right. Don't forget, they do have the Fire Giant 18 minutes into the game. It's almost unprecedented to have it this early. So, really, the Papis do have to just give it these tier 1 towers.
Yeah, at this stage of the game, tier 1 is not something you can just fight over, and Chekio can't even stay under tier 2 tower, because Julio, now with 6 kills online. Cage comes out, but it's not going to deter Johnny or Julio one bit. Tier 2 tower falls, and I mean, Johnny and Julio are putting on a clinic in this third game.
This was at the beginning a Draco Marino game, and Julio's just come over to put a stop to all of it. It's 6-0-0, both in 6 out of the 7 kills. The only kill he wasn't involved in was a return kill that Johnny managed to get quite early on. It's been a good... It was a good start for Papis, but now Papis just turned this game on its head. It's all thanks to the solo lane of the draft.
I mean, Julio didn't hear his name enough in games 1 and 2, so he decided he's got to come out big in game number 3. 7 kills for him in a row. Unstoppable on the solo laner, and still looking for more. Creed going to use the leap away, but Julio pushing forward. The left side Phoenix is down. Mid at about 3/4 health with another wave coming in quickly. I'm not sure that the Papis can really defend against this one. They've got only 3 players left alive, and Julio is at the forefront of it all. Mid Phoenix down, and the belt slap team will finally back away. They still have bird left standing for the Papis. Their last line of defense before the Titan. And once this bird goes down, that's considered the point of no return for most teams. Julio down to half. Archael just focusing on the Phoenix. Fields of Love used onto nobody as Julio dives in the back. Marcus in the sky looking for anybody. Johnny's going to leap away, but a quick shell will bring a big defense for them. Back into the fountain. Marcus will go. Julio just going to resustain up on this Amaterasu to make sure they can be healthy for a potential Titan siege, but instead, they're going to back away.
And Phoenix on that right-hand side did fall very easily. They're going to rotate through the jungle as close as they can to the base. Push that one down yet again. Take it away. Mid Phoenix will also spawn in this very short period of time. Get their Fire Giant for another 2 minutes and 50 seconds. They can afford to take this one a bit slow. Wait until they've got the Phoenixes down again before they push into the base.
How do you defend as the Papis at this point? It's only 24 minutes. You're down 15,000 gold. All birds gone. Now at the mid lane one, reset again, down to 0. This is the last stand. Minions pouring in on all sides. Draco Marino already down to a 1/4 health. The Watery Grave out. Creed all the way into the front line, but Johnny is healing away at the back line. Draco Marino down. Creed gonna throw out the ult. to get one into the fountain. Checky will be able to get one. Marcus very low, gets plugged
kill.
back into the background. Zeros gets another one. That's 2 down on the side of the Papis. Field of Love doesn't find anybody. Arkel aggressively dashes onto Warchi. Manages to somehow slip through his Warchi as he gets back into the fountain. Chekio doesn't get a make it because Zeros gets the final judgment. Chekio somehow still able to get some poke out thanks to the revive from his passive. Arkel gonna get knocked back, but the Titan is at 10% health, and Johnny is slamming it down for a belt slap 2-0 victory and first seed